Hello everyone and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I either bought or received in March. Now, I do have 7 books to show you guys today. 2 of them were gifted to me, 2 of them were from my subscription boxes, and 3 of them were some pre-orders, so I feel like that is a pretty good stack. You guys know I'm trying to be a lot more conscious of my book buying this year. Of course, I'm currently renovating a house. I am out of a job in July because my school is closing down, so unless something pops up, then your girl will be unemployed and I need to save as much money as I can for the next few months. I have allowed myself to pre-order a lot of books that I'm excited for though, because I don't want to miss out on some special editions of books that I hope will be my favourites, so that is why I do have some pre-orders coming through, and it's why my book hauls at the start of this year have been a little bit bigger. I am hoping to cut down even more now though. I have skipped my subscription box books for next month because they didn't really sound like my type of books, and of course I am trying to save money, so I will definitely be utilising my skips a lot more this year if I feel like the books aren't going to be for me. Saying that though, let's just dive into the book haul so that you can see which books have made it into my collection last month. The first book I have is The Weird and Wonderful World of Primary School, Put a Wet Paper Towel on It by Lee Parkinson and Adam Parkinson, and it's illustrated by Tim Sadler. Now, this was actually a gift from one of the parents at my school. As I mentioned previously, my school is closing down at the end of this year, and this parent has chosen to move her child to a different school after Easter, and so as a leaving gift she got me this and a few other bits, and essentially this is just a few funny stories about being in a classroom and working with kids. It says here, a heartwarming and hilarious look at what really happens when your precious little angels are at school. Get ready for a side-splittingly funny journey through the weird and wonderful world of primary schools. Join the 2 Mr. P's as they explore the pressures of modern day teaching, revealing exactly what it takes to wrangle a chaotic classroom or 7 on a weekly basis. From the absolute characters found in the staff room to school trip mishaps and everything else in between, Put a Wet Paper Towel on It is a must-read for teachers and parents alike. I don't know when I'm actually going to get to this one because I am obviously a teacher and I deal with a lot of this stuff every day, so reading about it may not be the best thing for me right now, but I feel like when I want a good giggle I will pick this up and I can hopefully relate to something in this book at least. So thank you very much to the parent who gifted this to me. I feel like it's a very thoughtful gift, and we have been working closely as well since their child started with us, so I feel like this is a very funny gift from them. Next up we have Eye for an Eye by MJ Ulrich. This is one that I haven't actually heard of, but I got it from my stepdad. He read it and he thought I would enjoy it, so he has now gifted it to me, and it definitely does sound like my type of thing. It has a load of reviews on it, and it just says on the back, Emily is a devoted single mother, Jack starts a new job in a new town, Russell may be falling in love. They all share the same secret, none of them are who they say they are. They are among only 9 criminals in the UK who have been granted lifelong anonymity for their own safety because of their terrible crimes. But what if someone exposed their true identities to the families of their victims, who are desperate for revenge? Probation officer Olivia Campbell is caught in the crossfire of this unprecedented crisis, and as the hunt for the mole behind it all intensifies, so too does the search for the vigilante killers let loose by the leaks. Everyone is a suspect, anyone could be a killer. Who deserves justice and who gets to decide? I feel like this is going to be such an interesting look at society and criminal behaviour in general. I am an avid true crime consumer, so this should definitely be right up my street. It's always crazy to think, isn't it, that you don't actually know the people that you live close to. I've seen so many cases where people have been best friends with a neighbour or something like that, and then they turn out to be a completely different person than who they actually thought they were, and it definitely scares me, but I think it's better to be aware of stuff like that and always approach people with caution. But yeah, this is a very chunky book, so I will need some time to get through it, but I do feel like it's going to be a very interesting read, and it's one that's probably going to touch on my moral compass as well. The next book I have here is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. I have previously read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, I believe is the name of the book by this author, and I do own his second book, which is The Devil in the Dark Water, I want to say, but I haven't read it yet. However, this was all over Waterstones when it was announced, and I got sucked into the hype, you guys, but honestly I'm really glad that I did, because look at this gorgeous Waterstones exclusive edition. I would have been gutted had I missed out on this, so I am really glad that I decided to pre-order it. It is also a lot shorter than his other books, and I don't know if that's because they've used different pages or what. I don't think they have, so it should be a faster murder mystery from him. But this is a beautiful book, you guys. It doesn't have anything on the cover, but it's a bright yellow, and then the end pages have some sort of a map on there, which is definitely something that I will be referring back to throughout the book. But I believe that this one is more of a kind of sci-fi, futuristic, dystopian murder mystery. I may have that completely wrong, but I feel like in this one there's some sort of disease, and there are some scientists and a community who have been able to protect themselves from it. However, one of these scientists is murdered, and then there is only a certain amount of time left before this deadly mist comes into the community and kills everyone. I may be butchering that synopsis, but I feel like that is pretty much what it is. Yes, it says here, if the murder isn't solved within 107 hours, the fog will smother the island and everyone on it. But the security system has also wiped everyone's memories of exactly what happened the night before, which means that someone on the island is a murderer and they don't even know it. That is so interesting. I didn't know that aspect of it, so I'm even more intrigued to read this now. Again, it's a beautiful edition. I love an isolated setting, and the fact that we can't trust anyone now because they've all had their memories wiped is definitely going to be a very intriguing element. The next pre-order I received was The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. For those of you who don't know, Catherine Arden is the author of the Winter Night trilogy, the first book being The Bear and the Nightingale. I have recently read the first and second book in that trilogy, and I will be moving on to the last book hopefully this month, and I really have fallen in love with Catherine Arden's writing style and her atmosphere in particular in those books. So if that's anything to go by, I should love this one. This is also a historical fiction book, which is a genre that I love to read from, but I rarely do. So I'm definitely looking forward to diving into this one and experience Catherine Arden's writing in a different genre. I will read you the little snippet at the bottom of this synopsis rather than the full thing. It says, a novel of breathtaking scope and drama, of stunning research lightly worn, The Warm Hands of Ghosts is a book that will speak to readers directly about the trauma of war and the power of those involved to love, endure and transcend it. And yeah, essentially we are following two main characters, I believe, who are a brother and a sister. The brother is off fighting in the Great War. However, one day he's put in a situation where he is trapped beside an enemy soldier, and if they reveal themselves, I guess, they'll have to obviously try and fight each other, or they'll be shot as deserters. And it says here, as the killing continues, they meet a man, a fiddler, who seems to have the power to make the hellscape that surrounds them disappear, but at what price? And then the brother actually disappears and his sister goes looking for him. That's kind of what I've gathered from this. Sorry, my synopses aren't the best for these books, but I can obviously give you a better synopsis once I've actually read them. This is once again a stunning Waterstones exclusive edition. Waterstones have just been stepping up their special edition game recently, guys, and I'm definitely here for it. Just look at this front cover. This is actually printed onto the book itself. It is beautiful. I love the gold and the blue together. And it says, and the stars of heaven fell to earth. The end pages are also gorgeous. They are the same on the front and back. But yeah, if I wasn't wanting to read this book before, I definitely am now. I will say I'm not actually too sure when I will get to this. Hopefully it will be in the next few months, but it's not going to be anytime soon, I don't think. I'm in a weird reading mood at the minute. I do want to mood read this month rather than set a TBR. So who knows, this may get read sooner, but I'm very glad to have it. I feel like it's going to be a very hard-hitting book, and I'm looking forward to reading a historical fiction. Next up is Medea by Rosie Hewlett, which is another beautiful Waterstones exclusive edition. The cover is beautiful enough, but then when you look at the stenciled edges, it just ties it all together, and I just feel like this book couldn't be any more beautiful. I haven't actually checked to see if there's anything on the book itself. It doesn't look like there is. No, it's just black, but of course we have the stenciled edges. And the end pages though are beautiful. So we have the same kind of design, but it's just a little bit different, and the back end pages are the same. Now it seems like Waterstones are moving away from getting the authors to sign the special editions. I feel like they are featuring more artwork and stenciled edges rather than signatures, which actually suits me fine. But I was just looking then to see if there's a signature, and there's not. All I know about this one is that it's a Greek myth retelling, and if you couldn't tell by the shelves behind me here, I absolutely love Greek mythology and Greek myth retellings. Of course, I had this one pre-ordered. I'm so happy that I did once again because I got this gorgeous edition, but I actually don't know too much about what this book is about. It says, shunned, persecuted, tormented. Medea possesses a mysterious and powerful gift. At the hands of a tyrant father, this gift is exploited and used to defend the enchanted golden fleece that protects their land. When the dashing leader of the Argonauts, Jason, arrives to fight for the fleece, Medea sees her chance to escape. She offers to help Jason defeat her father if he will ensure her freedom. Much to her surprise, he accepts. prince. Together they will obtain the fleece and build an empire. Their pact sets in motion a journey that will see Medea fall in love, battle monsters, dethrone kings, and claim her power. But when faced with the ultimate betrayal, Medea is driven to an act of desperation so brutal it rips apart the lives of everyone involved. And at the bottom it just says, fierce, powerful sorceress. I'm sold. I'm here for this. I can't wait to read it. I will be saving it to read it towards the summer months, just because that is when I tend to get to my Greek myth retellings. I feel like it's the perfect time of year to read them, and I am familiar with the story of Jason and the Argonauts, so hopefully I can pick up on some references throughout. And yeah, I'm just very excited to get to this one. It's also one of the most beautiful books that I own, and I'd love to get to it this year and tell you guys what I think of it. And then lastly, we do have my subscription box books. Now I do have full in-depth unboxings for both of these, which I will leave linked in the description box below. I'm not going to go in depth into these editions, but I will read you the snippet at the bottom of the synopsis to give you an idea of what the book is about. First up, we have Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan, and this was the illumicrate book of the month. Once again, it's beautiful. I love this colour scheme so much, and I believe that we are once again set at sea. Yes, look at this artwork. I know I said I wasn't going to show you in depth, but I can't not. It's just so beautiful. And yeah, it says here, this debut fantasy inspired by East Asian mythology and ocean folk tales is perfect for fans of Jade City, The Bone-Shard Daughter, and House of Earth and Blood. Now, I've only read House of Earth and Blood from those three, but I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite books and series. So if that's anything to go by, I should really enjoy this one. I'm hoping I can prioritise it this month or next month, but as I mentioned, I'm in a bit of a weird reading mood right now, so we'll see whether that'll be the case. I love books about the ocean though. I love books containing sirens, so hopefully this will be right up my street. And we do seem to have sea creatures on the front here as well that will definitely be of interest to me and will make me want to pick up this book even sooner. And then the last book is possibly one of the most stunning books that I own, and that one is the book of the month for Fairyloot, which is A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. This is a reimagining of Swan Lake, and I was already here for it, but this edition has just knocked it out the park, and I'm so excited now to dive in. The snippet for this one reads, A Feather So Black is a sizzling fantasy romance set in a world of perilous magic and moonlit forests, spinning a seductive tale of a changeling princess, her cursed sister, and the dangerous Fae Lord she must defeat to save her family. Say no more, guys. I've been loving my fantasy romance books recently. I do love that there's a familial aspect to this book as well. I found that I've been really enjoying reading about sisterly relationships recently, so I'm excited to see what it's like in this book. And again, this is one I would really like to prioritise. I would love to get to it this month if I can. I may join the read-along for this book that Fairyloot host every month, because they do separate the book into chunks and you read a specific amount of pages per day. I feel like that would work really well for me. Of course, I can chat about it with people then as well and hear their thoughts on it, and I just feel like it would be a really good time and it would make me sit down and prioritise it. So hopefully that will happen, but again, we shall see. I don't want to put any pressure on myself, so I'm not committing to anything, but I definitely would like to try and get to this one if I can. So there we have it, guys. These are all of the books that I either bought or received in March. It's definitely a bit of a mixed stack, but I'm here for it. I'm really enjoying branching out in my reading at the minute, especially as I feel a little bit burnt out from reading fantasy recently, so hopefully these will all give me a change of pace and setting, especially as there are a few different genres in here. If you have read any of these books, please do leave your spoiler-free thoughts down below. I love chatting to you guys about the books I plan on reading, and if you say good things, it definitely sways the order in which I read them as well. If you have made it this far through into the video and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me a violin emoji down in the comments. I feel like I had to choose this emoji based off of the stenciled edges of the Warm Hands of Ghosts. I feel like it's a beautiful stenciled edge, it's my favourite colour, and I feel like it's going to play a very important part in this story as well. So if you are still here but don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, please do go ahead and comment that now. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it from me today, guys. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!